Outnumbered Overtime. Oh, gee, baby. So Dr. Manny just said, how long does this last? He's like,
I was ready to just move now.
Let me give you a couple of highlights during the TV version of us. And this is why I love doing TV with Elizabeth Macdonald. She said, is the administration throwing fastballs past the American people with its economics numbers? And then she said, and I can't remember the context, but she said these words, drunken apple women.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, that's a hashtag on the live chat.
That's a hashtag right now?
And then you dropped, like we all have that little way to unwind or whatever. You dropped some knowledge on me, as Andrea would say, because I like a little, that drink that you drink. I like the grapefruit flavored, but just a touch of vodka. And you said don't mix the two.
Well, look, the question on the table had to do with alcohol and how to mix it. And of course, you wanted to know what to do if you have a hangover. And I just said keep drinking. But
he's pointing to
is that true?
By the way.
Right.
Well, that's what I do. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. One of the problems I'm having is that a lot of people are mixing these canned goods, whatever, of different drinks and mixing it with alcohol. And you got to pay attention because a lot of them, for instance, there's a lot of caffeine in a lot of these energy drinks. And like my son, who's in college, God, is giving me a heart attack because he likes to drink vodka and Red Bull. And I keep saying to him, look, the problem with mixing drinks with some of these canned goods is that you don't realize how drunk you're getting, and you can have alcohol toxicity. The problem that people get into trouble, whether you get sick or not, is the alcohol toxicity. So grapefruit juice, in my opinion, this is why you don't take grapefruit juice sometimes with certain medications because of the liver metabolism. I don't like to drink anything that may hamper my liver metabolism.
What does grapefruit do to the liver, though?
It doesn't do anything to the liver. It's just that there are certain enzymes that are very sensitive to some of the chemistry of grapefruit, and therefore you have to be careful how you metabolize.
So it erases those enzymes?
Not erase, it interferes with the natural functionality of it sometimes.
Do you get drunker?
Medication.
Do you get drunker? I feel like I would get drunker if I would drink a sugary drink and vodka, for example.
Well, because it's the same thing. You basically are fooling your brain. Look, sugar is the food of the brain, right? So the oxygen and sugar, that's what it needs in order to be alive. So that if you begin to give a lot of sugar, so your energy level is up.
Eat a lot of sugar.
But in reality, your alcohol content, and that's the problem that we have.
So
with a lot
I am a champion for
so many questions.
You know what? I stick to martini, so I'm a complete champion in your book as to how to drink right.
Right, keep it straight.
Oh, so okay, a couple questions, Dr. Manny. One, I'm assuming the more sugar, then the worse the hangover.
Bingo.
Okay, and then, so my drink of choice is either vodka fresca with a dash of grape juice or vodka club soda with a dash of cranberry. What am I doing wrong?
You're not doing anything necessarily wrong. I like the latter better than the former.
Because that's got great.
Because that gives you a little bit of hydration, a little bit of the cranberry, the cranberry, which is very good for your kidneys.
Can I ask a question?
There you go.
Look at how healthy I was last
Dr.
night.
Manny, because I love this story, because you do have St. Patrick's Day coming up, and we want to mitigate
People know
the hangover. It's all about the hangover.
That's right. Thank God.
So it's called fatty congeners. In other words, the dark liquors can create these fatty molecules that hold the liquor or alcohol in your stomach, and it takes longer to digest, whereas clear liquor like vodka and gin goes through your system more quickly. Is that true? Does that sound right?
I think I think the thicker liqueurs of any kind, like sometimes I get a little fancy Jägermeister. I like a little bit of Jägermeister sometimes with my beer.
Drambuie.
See, I was a big
wild turkey.
See?
Drambuie. What are you, an 8-year-old man? Who drinks Drambuie?
That's what my dad.
Harvey's Bristol cream. I go home and have a little Harvey's Bristol cream.
Those drinks have a lot of sugar. Just getting to the point that Andrea was making, they do have a lot of sugar. That's when you get.
All right, let's get back to live chat because it's on
They've
fire
been waiting.
right now. Cinders Gremlin says ginger ale and Captain Morgan, please. Not substantive, but I thought I'd
sounds good.
put it in the conversation too. They want to go back to vaccination, so let's go there. What did I do with it? Heck fire. I can't find that person. Oh, wait. Are the measles outbreaks from all the illegal children coming in not immunized? Something to think about. J.D. Lucas. All right. There was a Representative Brooks, congressman, who brought this up earlier this week.
Is that from California, that person?
I think he's from California. I'm going to look it up quickly, but I know that that's his name. And he brought this up and he said, look, can we just ask the question? Because, I mean, we've had some 90,000 of them estimated come into the country in the last 15 months or so from places like Central America, not necessarily places that border us.
There was a report that indicated
but not necessarily places that border us where we might be having some open immunization clinics, because we do that sort of thing on our borders.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that's a legitimate question because we don't have any clinical data, no information whatsoever from illegal immigrants that come to this country, so you really don't know. One thing I could tell you, Mexico has a pretty strong vaccination program, especially
which we help work with,
right?
Didn't we?
You know, so we developed that, and so kids in particular that are coming from Mexico, I would probably guess that a vast majority of them have at least received the MMR. Adults is a different story. And there are other areas of this world, like India, you know, Pakistan, all of those places where vaccination rates are abysmal. So I think it's so I think that illegal immigration is a problem. I think the lack of vaccination protocols in our country and in different communities now is contributing to that. So it's a combination of both faces. And we just have that, and that's why it's important if we had vaccination ratios of over 90%, and it was kind of, mandated, which is what I'm looking for, that we will not be facing this problem.
But let's be clear, this is also about a lot of Americans on both sides of the aisle.
No,
you've got people in the South who tend to be conservative and just don't want to be told what to do, and you've got people in Marin County, one of the most liberal places on earth, outside San Francisco, who just don't want to be told what to do with their holistic medicine, and so therefore they don't want to get immunized either. And that's,
the problem with me is that everybody has a health opinion nowadays.
Right.
Everybody's a chef.
So.
I never see so many chefs in my life. You turn on the TV, everybody's a chef. Everybody wrote a cookbook.
Not me.
Everybody's a nutritionist expert. Everybody is an exercise guru. Everybody. I mean, they don't have to go to school. So everybody is a medical doctor now today. You need a blog and say, oh, by the way, Dr. Manny is a blah, blah, blah. And don't listen to it. Listen to me. If you drink carrot juice, you're going to live forever. Blah, blah, blah. And then, they know how to work the social media. They become movie stars, internet sensations, and I'm sitting here like a putz trying to tell people the truth, and they don't listen.
So my mom is the queen of WebMD. If there's some sort of issue, she'll go on WebMD and she'll start to diagnose me. And I'm like,
Dr. Manny, can I ask you, so why not break up the vaccinations? And I only ask that because of what I mentioned earlier. My little brother was autistic, and there is a belief in the community that the proximity of the vaccinations is so close. And I've wondered, do they do that for convenience? One, so that the parents don't have to keep coming back, or so they don't forget to bring the child back. But why not break them up?
The cost, number one, okay, when I'm able to,
cost to whom?
To the parents.
The parents and to listen, a pediatrician makes, $3 in a vaccine?
Yeah.
Okay, you know how many vaccines he has to give in order to make $90? A lot of kids per day. So it's an economic issue. If you can mix vaccines together, like the MMR and things like that, it becomes cheaper to give out and produce and manufacture. So there's a financial reasoning behind it. There's a practical reasoning because, again, if you tell the mother, bring the kid back in 6 months or 7 months.
It's not a big money maker for the drug company.
No, it's not.
But for the parents,
it's out of the business.
What you're saying, though, is if you have a copay, you've got to pay that each time. Now, I did it because it was 35 shots before the age of 36 months, and I said no.
Right.
I said, we're going to break it up. I don't care how much it costs, but I'm not going to load up that little person who's not even 3 feet tall yet with all that. So I understand the sort of anti-vax communities thinking on that issue because it's so much.
Wow.
But breaking it up costs money because every time you go, it's a doctor's visit.
Is there a reason for you? I mean, is there a medical reason for you to have done that?
It's just my thing. It's like anything else that's foreign in the body. I just think too much is too much.
You're absolutely right.
So you slow it down, but there are priority shots you have to get, though. MMR, you're not going to slow down.
That's exactly right. You hit it. There are too many vaccinations, okay? There are too many vaccinations.
What's too many? Which ones are excessive?
Well, it's not about excessive. It's about the practicality. Now, you see the commercials about Gardasil, right? And the commercial in the Super Bowl was, if you could do something to prevent cancer in your child, would you do it? Now, you have taken HPV, human papillovirus, and you brought it all the way down to real cancer, telling the audience it's 100% you're going to turn into cancer. if you don't give this vaccination to your child. Now, number one, HPV, it's not like measles. It's not like one person can infect 100. You have to have intercourse first to get the HPV. Number two, not all HPVs are created equal. HPV 16, HPV 18 are linked to cervical cancer, but the rest
for child, that sounds so crazy.
So, but the whole point is that they want to get everybody vaccinated. It's an important vaccine, but is it necessary? My daughter didn't get the HPV vaccine. I didn't want to give it to her.
But isn't that all about getting it done before you start having intercourse so that you're prevented from getting HPV?
But again, and it's not because I don't believe in the vaccine. It's just that I think that I have a good relationship, and my wife has a good relationship with my teenage daughter to say, listen, these are the realities of life. Wait a little bit longer if you want to make it. Now, you can get the HPV vaccine until you're 20-something. So it's not that I have to give it to her at the age of 8.
Got it.
If you're a virgin, though, right?
What?
If you're a virgin.
Well, you can always get it.
You
can always get it.
No,
you can always get it.
You can always get it.
But you're talking about prioritizing, which as a parent is what I chose to do.
Right.
So, MMR, measles, mumps, rubella, you got to have that.
Polio,
but there's some of them
tetanus.
that are mixing in, and you can have that conversation with your doctor.
Right.
Dr. Manny, this has been our pleasure. De nada. But really, gracias a ti.
Oh, look at that.
Thank you. We can't wait to get you back. This was great. The live chat was on fire. As
I know.
So much knowledge. Yeah. I am not going to have a Greyhound ever again.
A Greyhound? Grapefruit drink you mixed?
Vodka and grapefruit.
Oh, right.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, noon Eastern, happening now. It doesn't start right now. No, nothing starts right now. We end. We'll see you on Outnumbered tomorrow.